Buccaneers to the Super Bowl, but they won.
Yeah, so?
We can all agree there are many excellent black quarterbacks. Let's see what you can hit.
What is up, everybody? It's Jay Coffee Talk. Thanks for tuning in. And let's talk. We got to talk, all the NFL fans out there. You see the little clip from the Three Kings movie, and you heard what Ice Cube was talking about with dude. You heard what he said. He made a stereotypical statement saying, black quarterbacks, couldn't get the job done. You know what I mean? And let's be honest, everyone. All the NFL fans out there, get in the comments. Always want to hear what the people got to say. But this was a stereotype. I mean, I'm not saying everyone believed this or anything like that. But, I mean, let's be honest. This stereotype did exist. Does it still exist? Okay, now what's going on now? I'm sure you guys might have seen a week or two ago. I actually did a video on my channel talking about this. Bill Polian, been in the NFL for a long time. And, he was involved with my team, the Buffalo Bills, during our glory years, with the front office and, helped put together that team. And he went on to Indy, won Super Bowls there and everything like that. He made a statement back, when Lamar Jackson declared for the draft. And I said this in my other video, and I'm going to say it again as a Bills fan. I love my quarterback. I love what we got going. I love everything about my team. Josh Allen is a beast. But going into the draft that year, I wanted Lamar Jackson on my squad. You know what I mean? That's who I wanted us to select. And, he ended up going late in the first round to the Ravens. But anyways, when he was going into the draft, Bill Polian said Lamar Jackson needs to become a running back or a receiver if he wants to go pro, go to the NFL. Now, we've seen this. We've seen quarterbacks play quarterback in college, and when it came time, for the NFL, they converted over to wide receiver. Terrell Pryor comes to mind. I mean, he did see action in the NFL at quarterback. He did get a shot to play quarterback. But we've seen it. I think Randall L. We've seen it with white guys too. Everyone knows Julian Edelman for the Patriots. He's a receiver. He was a safety. But he did play quarterback in college. Kent State, I believe. But anyways, the stereotype has existed. You know what I mean? And Bill Polian has just came out and finally recently said he was wrong. Okay? But what we're talking about, why this discussion's brought back up right now, what I'm personally talking about is there was just a little debate going on Twitter between, some guys within the sports media. And we're talking about John Feinstein, the guys from the Dan Le Batard show, and Doug Gottlieb. I don't know if I'm saying that last name right, Gottlieb. I butcher names sometimes. But anyways, what the deal is we know in the 2017 draft in the first round, okay, Trubisky was the number one quarterback taken in the draft by, the Bears. Behind him in the first round also went Mahomes, which my Bills traded that pick to the Chiefs at the 10th pick. And then the Texans took Deshaun Watson. Okay, now what's going on is, we know Watson and Mahomes have shined, especially Mahomes. We've seen what he just accomplished, you know what I mean? And, for a long time, like I said, not just the stereotype about a black quarterback, not being able to do their thing and be a complete quarterback, but a running mobile quarterback. People have always, thought that kind of offense doesn't work in the NFL. You know what I mean? You can do that in college, but when it comes to the NFL, it's not happening. Well, we've seen what Mahomes did, and we've seen other quarterbacks have success. I mean, but you remember back when Michael Vick was playing, a lot of people felt Vick relied on his legs too much, you know what I mean? But he showed later on when he came home, and played with the Eagles that he definitely was a passer, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, let's get into what I'm talking about here, this debate. And like I said, make sure all you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. That's what this platform's all about. Make sure to sub to this channel. Also, guys, this is my secondary channel. But anyways, Trubisky has been a bust pretty much. I don't know if I'd call the guy an all-out bust, but yeah, actually for where he took him, he's a bust. So Chicago has declined to pick up his fifth-year option. They just traded to bring in Nick Foles, who may win that job in camp from Trubisky. You know what I mean? Like, he might not be safe. That might not be his job. And with that going on, you know, that discussion has got brought back up, you know, through this Twitter, little Twitter debate here. If you'll take a look at this one tweet here that I got up on the screen. Now, there's many tweets involved in this. I just grabbed a few of them. You guys, you know, can go do all your digging on your own as well. But Doug Gottlieb put, in a word, no. And this is him responding to a Le Batard show tweet that says, "You don't think 6-time Executive of the Year Bill Polian thought Lamar Jackson was a running back because his prototype looked like Peyton Manning? It's how race plays a factor, which would be obvious if white people weren't more sensitive to being called racist than they are to racism." And Gottlieb responded to that tweet saying, in a word, no. Bill Polian's evaluation comes from his knowledge of the sport and position. He has equity in the sport that your show seems to believe is the bane of society. He has forgotten more about football than I will ever know. So Gottlieb basically believes race didn't play a factor in this at all. You know, that Polian just evaluated, when he's talking about Lamar Jackson, he evaluated the talent wrong, and that Chicago, who was ever involved in that front office, evaluated the talent wrong as well, that they just thought Trubisky was better quarterback than Mahomes and Watson. Now, something else that was said in there too was what where he's saying like white people are so sensitive to being called racist. Now, with stereotypes and different things of that nature, right? You gotta wonder, sometimes someone could be not a racist person at all, not a hateful person at all, but subconsciously they know like these stereotypes play on their decision making or what they think. Like, what do you guys think about that theory? I don't know if you've ever heard that theory, but we're talking about what happened with these quarterbacks. Do you believe that Trubisky going ahead of Mahomes and Watson, his race had anything to do with it? Okay, I want to know what you guys think. Now, continuing on with what we're talking about on Twitter here, word was, Deshaun Watson said, the Bears never even reached out to me. Now, someone went on Twitter and found a tweet from the Rich Eisen show from way back in 2017, April 21st. And it was said, Deshaun Watson says, visited KC, Cleveland, Jackson, 49ers, Cardinals, Texans, Jets, Bills, and spoke to the Bears, Ravens, Chargers on the phone. So implying that Deshaun Watson was either remembering this wrong or lied. Well, Deshaun Watson got on Twitter and responded and said, he replied to this tweet, quoted it, and said, the Bears never once talked to me. And you see Richie Incognito below is like, sheesh. I don't know why that caught my eye. But anyways, Deshaun Watson's quarterback coach, Quincy Avery, said that this was facts, that what Watson's account of this, that they never reached out to him, was true. So either someone's remembering things wrong, or that old tweet to the Eisen show came from an agent or something and it was just incorrect. It was just inaccurate. You guys let me know what you think. But in the midst of all this, the other gentleman who's been involved in this Twitter debate, John Feinstein, he tweeted out and said, Bears declining fifth-year option on Mitchell Trubisky, quarterback they chose ahead, in all caps, of Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. I asked Doug Williams, who you heard in that early clip from the movie that I played, Three Kings, the first quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl, Super Bowl 22 with the Redskins. He says, I asked Doug Williams where Mahomes and Watson would have gone if they'd been white. And he said, ahead of Trubisky, ahead of number 2. Absolutely, he answered. So, Doug Williams played through that era. He, lived to disprove this stereotype. You know what I'm saying? And he flat out said he believes this as well, that, these guys' skin color played a factor in this whole decision. Now, Gottlieb is saying in 2020, this just can't be, this just can't exist. Well, what goes on is a lot of these guys involved in these organizations, older white guys, you know what I'm saying, still have some kind of pull sometimes, and they speak to the coaches and everyone involved, the scouts in the draft picks and everything. And, they let their 2 cents be heard, you know what I mean? Because a lot of these older white guys, they just can't see, you know what I mean? To them, their mind is in a different era. Now, something I want to say, pertaining to this all, right? As I stated, I'm a diehard Bills fan. I've heard other Bills fans say that they believe our previous owner, Ralph Wilson, rest in peace to Ralph, you know what I mean? Didn't really think, to him, he didn't believe in a black quarterback playing, starting at quarterback. And if you look, the Bills didn't have a black quarterback start other than the replacement year until E.J. Manuel came around in like 2013, I believe, or 14. You know what I'm saying? He was caught up. Ralph Wilson was caught up in a different era. He's the same guy that, it's different, but same thing here that I'm about to say. When we had Doug Flutie, we had him riding the bench, backup late in his career behind Rob Johnson, who sucked. He was garbage. He was horrible, right? We traded a first-round pick for this guy after he played one good game, filled in for the injured starter. Because, Rob Johnson looked like the all-American idea of a quarterback. Surfer-looking guy, tall white dude, you know what I mean? But he sucked. He couldn't play. He was garbage. He was another one of them USC quarterbacks that couldn't cut it. And, Doug Flutie was short. I forget how tall Flutie was. Was he like 5'8" or something? But I'm saying to Ralph Wilson, it's a different example, but same idea, where he can't think outside of the box. Flutie's a short, looks like this. It don't matter if he won the Heisman. Rob Johnson's the starter. Well, Rob Johnson sucked, got injured. We were 0-3. Flutie took us to the playoffs. We lost. The next year, Flutie took us to the playoffs again. And Ralph Wilson made our coach, Wade Phillips at the time, bench him for Rob Johnson. You know what I mean? He couldn't let that Rob Johnson itch get away from him. So it's a different idea, but it's the same kind of thing that a lot of these guys don't understand, that football evolves. You know what I mean? And when it comes to this, that's not a thing about evolution in football. If a black guy could play at quarterback, then he could now. That has nothing, someone's skin tone has nothing to do with their skill. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying is they can't get these old ideas out of their head that things change. They're stuck in a different era. You got what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. That's all I really got on this. But one more tweet that I want to share with you that Feinstein shared, speaking on all this as he was involved in this Twitter debate. And you guys know how Twitter gets. It can get agitating, to say the least. You know what I mean? He put, to right-wing redneck America, I have tried to respond even to some of your truly ugly tweets on the Trubisky, Mahomes, Watson issue. I'm done. Tweet if you want. I'll just block and move on. Amazing how angry white people get at the notion that race is still an issue. Bye. So there you have it once again. A lot of people don't want to admit that this stuff still goes on. Feinstein called it out right there. You know what I mean? You guys get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this. Trubisky, being picked ahead of Mahomes and Watson. Did race play a factor? Does race still play a factor in the NFL, in sports? This stereotype of that black quarterbacks are just mobile and not good passers. Do you think people still think this way? What are your thoughts on all this? Sound off in the comments. That's what this channel is all about, hearing what the people got to say. And make sure to subscribe to the channel. J Coffee Talk, all kinds of different content. This is my second channel. So make sure you're subscribed on both of my platforms. I cover music, news, sports, current events, and much, much more. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.